National Review reports that DEI training material increases perception of non-existent prejudice, in agreement with Hitler rhetoric, as a study finds. Texas abortion laws are straining the OB/GYN workforce.
New ballistic missile used by Russia to strike Dnipro on November 21 had no explosives and caused no destruction, as reported by Bild. Dual U.S. and Albanian citizen arrested for attempting to provide material support to ISIS and distributing instructions regarding homemade explosives. Hamas says, Israeli female hostage killed in North Gaza area hit by Israel.
The U.S. Treasury has imposed sanctions on Gazprombank and taken further measures to restrict Russia's access to the international financial system. In a separate development, Putin claimed that Russia had fired a hypersonic ballistic missile at Ukraine as a warning to the West. However, U.S. officials have refuted this claim, stating that Russia did not launch an ICBM at Ukraine, contradicting a statement made by Kyiv yesterday. Additionally, U.S. intelligence agencies have issued a warning to defense companies about the potential threat of Russian sabotage.
The International Criminal Court, ICC, has issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, former Defense Minister Gallant, and former Hamas commander Mohammed Deif. In response to the ICC's move, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban announced that he would invite Netanyahu to Hungary. Additionally, Brazilian police have found evidence suggesting that former President Jair Bolsonaro was aware of a plot to assassinate former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. As a result, Brazilian police have indicted Bolsonaro and several of his aides for allegedly participating in a 2022 coup attempt. Furthermore, a Mexican cartel leader who had faked his own death to live a life of luxury in the United States has been arrested in California by federal officials.
Russia launches its first intercontinental ballistic missile at Ukraine, while the U.S. and its allies respond by closing their embassies in Ukraine in response to Russia's threats. Amidst escalating tensions, the Danish Navy successfully intercepted a Chinese ship suspected of damaging undersea cables, while Russia vehemently denies any involvement in cutting the Baltic Sea cables. 2 undersea cables in Baltic Sea cut? Germany and Finland fear sabotage. Sweden issues pamphlet telling citizens what to do if Russia attacks. Putin signs new Russian nuclear doctrine after Biden's arms decision for Ukraine. North Korean leader calls for expanding his nuclear forces in the face of alleged U.S. threats.
Pope Francis calls for investigation to determine if Israel's attacks in Gaza constitute genocide. Israel's conduct in Gaza consistent with characteristics of genocide, said in a UN report. Haaretz comments as, genocide or not, Israel is perpetrating war crimes in Gaza. Israel's army investigates if it breached international law by killing hundreds of Gazans.
EU grows increasingly convinced Russia is producing lethal drones in China, as EU to press China over drones for Russia, warns of consequences. Hamas officials booted by Qatar last week, now hosted in Turkey. A diplomat says, Hamas political office has not moved to Turkey from Qatar, Turkish source says, as Turkish official denies that Hamas leaders booted from Qatar have moved there, says they're just visiting. Turkey can't be a mediator for any hostage deal, says Israeli sources. Washington Post comments that Russia wants the Kursk back before negotiations, but Ukraine is not willing to compromise. Zelensky emphasizes the importance of ensuring that the war ends next year through diplomacy. Meanwhile, a pro-Russia bill has sparked protests in the breakaway region of Georgia, where protesters stormed parliament in the Abkhazia region over the Russia deal.
Urges Putin to end the Ukraine war during their first call in 2 years. Meanwhile, Japan's minister visits Ukraine to express mutual concern over the presence of North Korean troops. Ukrainian President Zelensky believes the war will end sooner with Trump in office, while also accusing German Chancellor Scholz of inadvertently opening a Pandora's box with Putin.
Kamala Harris campaign never paid millions for celebrity endorsements, former advisor insists. Argentina orders arrest of Brazilian Bolsonaro supporters over 2023 coup bid. India's PM Modi leaves for Nigeria, Brazil, and Guyana. Operator of Helix Darknet cryptocurrency mixer, which was highly sought after by online drug dealers sentenced in money laundering conspiracy involving hundreds of millions of dollars. The daughters of Malcolm X sue the CIA, FBI, and NYPD over the civil rights leader's assassination, as Malcolm X's estate alleges DOJ, FBI, CIA, NYPD played role in events leading to assassination. U.S. returns over 1,400 looted artifacts worth $10 million to India.
Axios reports that the Biden administration's agenda has spurred a remarkable $1 trillion in economic investment. In other news, Intel has secured a substantial $7.9 billion award for constructing a new U.S. chip plant. Additionally, Chinese scientists have made a groundbreaking discovery, claiming to have successfully developed a converged energy beam weapon, drawing parallels to the iconic Death Star from Star Wars.
Newspaper, following the publisher's decision to refer to terrorists as freedom fighters. Additionally, officials in Israel and Lebanon reported that they were on the verge of signing a ceasefire deal. Furthermore, an advisor to the supreme leader of Iran stated that Iran was preparing to respond to Israel.
Russia says it needs migrants to fill labor shortage. Russia recruits Yemeni mercenaries to fight in Ukraine, and Putin signs law forgiving debt arrears for new Russian recruits for Ukraine war. Putin's assassination targets revealed in declassified memo, as declassified U.S. intelligence memorandum details Russia's suspected targeting of political adversaries abroad.
Tesla stock surges as Team Trump considers national self-driving regulations. RFK Jr. is pictured with a McDonald's burger, while Trump Jr. proclaims, "Make America Healthy Again begins tomorrow." Billionaire media moguls unite to invest in France's oldest journalism school. In a meeting with Biden, China's Xi cautions U.S. to make the wise choice to keep relations stable. Brazil's First Lady insults Elon Musk at G20 social event, and with "they are going to lose the next election." Elon Musk hits back after Brazil's First Lady uses F-word for him. Moody's downgrades Mexican government's outlook to negative over weakening of judiciary and debt.
Xpeng's flying car, priced at $280K USD, successfully completed its public flight and garnered over 2,000 orders. In a separate development, BYD is set to make its mark in the South Korean market by launching at least 3 passenger vehicles in 2025. Notably, Jaguar has decided to discontinue the production of new cars in the UK in anticipation of its complete transition to electric vehicles.
TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, has seen its valuation rise to approximately $300 billion. In contrast, the S&P 500's dividend yield has reached its lowest point in over 2 decades. Additionally, according to AP sources, the popular sports talk show, Inside the NBA, will be airing on both ESPN and ABC as part of a settlement between Warner Bros. Discovery, WBD, and the National Basketball Association, NBA. In the United Kingdom, the technology firm Palantir engaged in a conversation with the Minister of Justice regarding the computation of prisoners' reoffending risks. Additionally, a study revealed that consumers are actively disinterested in products that incorporate artificial intelligence. Jaguar, the renowned British luxury vehicle manufacturer, has unveiled a novel advertisement that eschews the conventional car imagery. Lucasfilm officially confirms the release of Star Wars Visions Volume 3, with the premiere slated for 2025. In a significant development, China's space sale aims to challenge Elon Musk's Starlink in Brazil, as Brazil concludes an agreement with a Chinese Starlink competitor, SpaceSale.
Forbes reports that Chinese tech companies are establishing AI teams in Silicon Valley. Supermicro is hiring a new auditor to maintain its Nasdaq listing, resulting in a 37% increase in shares. The Wall Street Journal comments that the Biden administration is racing to deliver chip grants before Trump takes office.
In the U.S., the Department of Justice is pushing Google to sell Chrome to break the search monopoly. Google is reportedly planning to transform Chrome OS into Android to better compete with the iPad. Additionally, NVIDIA is accelerating Google's quantum AI processor design by simulating quantum device physics as part of its collaboration with Google to develop quantum computing processors. Indian police apprehend the suspect in the $230 million WazirX cryptocurrency exchange hack. Burglars break into the Royal Windsor Castle estate, which houses Princess Kate and family, and steal vehicles. A man suspected of supplying small boats for migrant crossings across the Channel is arrested at Amsterdam airport.
Israeli president reportedly cancelled COP29 trip because Turkey denied airspace. Argentina seizes large arsenal of Nazi weapons and Hitler-era memorabilia. Netanyahu aide leaked classified document to influence public opinion on hostage negotiations, court says. New data reveals a slowdown in the growth of mobile internet users. Gray key tool employed by law enforcement can only partially unlock iOS 18 devices. Google utilizes millions of phones to map Earth's ionosphere and enhance GPS.
UMass Amherst and MIT provide advice to foreign students and faculty affected by the Trump administration. A survey reveals that nearly half of Muslim students at California universities have experienced harassment. Additionally, 4 University of Rochester students were arrested for distributing wanted posters targeting Jewish staff members.
India's second wealthiest person, Gautam Adani, has been charged by the U.S. with $250 million in bribery. U.S. charged billionaire Adani with defrauding investors, concealing a plan to bribe Indian officials, and GQG Partners, an Adani investor, shares experienced their worst day following Adani's indictment. Additionally, a report reveals that over half of non-retired U.S. adults anticipate relying on Social Security for their retirement. Furthermore, an audit sheds light on Boeing's practices, showing that the company marked up soap dispensers by an astonishing 8,000% and incurred $1 million in overcharges for the Air Force.
The U.S. has vetoed a UN resolution aimed at establishing a ceasefire in Gaza, citing concerns that it may not guarantee the release of hostages. In response, Hamas has reiterated its refusal to engage in a hostage for prisoner swap with Israel unless the ongoing conflict in Gaza comes to an end. Additionally, the Senate has rejected Sanders-backed proposals intended to prevent arms sales to Israel. The White House has accused Democrats who oppose providing weapons to Israel of inadvertently aiding Hamas.
Into Russia for the first time. The Financial Times reports that a Chinese vessel has identified the location where the Baltic Sea cables were severed.
Morgan Stanley joins U.S. peers in relocating its Middle East headquarters to Riyadh. Lutnick's Cantor engages in discussions with Tether regarding a $2 billion Bitcoin lending project. Washington restricts Intel's chip grant following the company's recent setbacks.
Pakistan partially suspends mobile and internet services in anticipation of a pro-Imran Khan protest. In response, Islamabad imposes a lockdown in preparation for the protests aimed at the release of former Prime Minister Imran Khan. On the other hand, diehard gamers in China are driving the demand for esports hotels. Additionally, an arcane Netflix banner image was removed after fans noticed subtle indications of artificial intelligence.
Ukrainian strike, Western officials report. Ukraine claims that a new Oreshnik missile fired by Russia traveled faster than Mach 11. A Norwegian guard at the U.S. Embassy in Oslo was arrested over allegations of spying for Russia and Iran.
EU regulators abandoned their investigation into Apple's e-book rules after the complaint was withdrawn, as the Apple e-books antitrust investigation concluded, likely due to its irrelevance. Meanwhile, Netflix subpoenas Discord to identify the alleged leaker of Arcane and Squid Game. In the U.S., the Supreme Court dismissed Facebook's appeal in a shareholder lawsuit stemming from the Cambridge Analytica data breach.
In 2025. In a related development, Berkeley coding professor says, even graduates with 4.0 GPA can't find jobs. Additionally, a study has revealed that Z Library, one of the largest shadow libraries on the internet, assists students in overcoming academic poverty.
BMW 5 Series claims German Car of the Year title in 2025. Bloomberg suggests Northvolt's decline began with BMW's decision to discontinue production. UniCredit proposes a $10.5 billion acquisition of Banco BPM, a competitor in Italy. In the third quarter of 2024, the number of bankruptcy declarations among EU businesses increased by 2.7% compared to the second quarter.
Fires up world's first underwater boron ramjet for unstoppable anti-ship missiles, as world's first underwater boron ramjet for hypersonic weapons achieves 90% efficiency. Chinese scientists build recoilless AK-47 that can be wielded by almost any drone. South Korea, Malaysia agree to cooperate in defense, minerals,
As the U.S. debt reaches a staggering $36 trillion, approximately $1 in every $5 the government spends is repaid to investors who lent it money. In a groundbreaking move, the UK government is set to conduct its first major trial to address poverty by providing cash to homeless individuals. Additionally, Miley officially ended her relationship with Villarreal, asserting that she is now closer to the cast and that the vice president has no influence on Argentina's policy.
Advertised giving worthless advice on airstrikes. U.S. Air Force says drones spotted near 3 bases in England last week.
North Korean hackers stole $10 million using AI-driven scams and malware on LinkedIn. Additionally, a cyber attack targeted the data of 500,000 Auchan shoppers. A Thai medical tycoon is wanted for fraud and fled to China, according to police reports.
Reportedly, Trump media is considering launching a cryptocurrency payment service. In the U.S., the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau (CFPB) is expanding its oversight of digital payment services, including Apple Pay, Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle. Additionally, the UK is committed to delivering a comprehensive cryptocurrency regulation framework by early 2025. Howard Lutnick, the Wall Street banker at Tether, has been chosen by Trump as the commerce chief, not the Treasury Secretary. Coinbase is considering delisting WBTC as Justin Sun gains influence over the protocol and launches its own wrapped Bitcoin token. Additionally, a Shanghai court has ruled that holding virtual currency solely as an individual is not illegal in itself.
Trump's media company is reportedly in talks to acquire Bakkt, a cryptocurrency platform. In parallel, Goldman Sachs is reportedly considering spinning out its digital assets technology platform. Notably, a recent report suggests that 1 in 9 Swiss investors have invested in cryptocurrency assets.
2024, 10 months ago, China's BYD overtakes Tesla as top-selling electric car seller. German steel giant ThyssenKrupp to slash 11,000 jobs. Trump says he will impose new tariffs on Canada, Mexico and China on first day.
Ukraine has lost more than 40% of the land it seized in Russia's Kursk region, according to a senior Kyiv military source. Additionally, the Blackwater founder asserts that there is no chance for Ukraine to reclaim the Russia-annexed lands. Furthermore, banks in the United Arab Emirates, Turkey and Thailand have ceased servicing UnionPay cards.
In the U.S., the Department of Defense has completed its 7th consecutive department-wide financial statement audit. The auditors have discovered that the Pentagon's books lack the necessary financial data to account for spending for the 7th consecutive year. On a different note, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency is seeking high IQ revolutionaries willing to work 80 hours a week for free. The New Republic warns that Trump's new oligarchy is about to unleash unimaginable corruption.
Trump's team skips FBI background checks for some cabinet picks. Ocasio-Cortez comments as, Gabbard nomination is a pro-war nomination globally. Salon comments as, Trump trolls GOP with cabinet picks. The point is to bring Republicans to heel, but it may backfire. New York Times comments as, Trump takes on the pillars of the deep state.
South Korean investors are shifting their focus to U.S. stocks and cryptocurrencies, leading to a decline in South Korea's stock market as investors flock to the cryptocurrency market. NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal recently signed an $11 million settlement for an Astrals NFT. Additionally, the Alternative for Germany, AfD, party has included Bitcoin in its election program for the upcoming Bundestag elections in Germany.
The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has shattered a record by imposing a staggering $8.2 billion in penalties for the year 2024. This record-breaking figure is primarily driven by Terraform Labs' substantial settlement, which accounts for a significant portion of the total penalties. In the same period, the SEC has also amassed a substantial revenue of $4.68 billion from the crypto sector, reflecting the ongoing crackdown on the sector. On a separate note, a recent court ruling has ordered an 836-pound cursed emerald, valued at a whopping $1 billion, to be returned to Brazil. This decision comes after a lengthy legal battle. Furthermore, a report from Bank of America suggests that tech stocks are approaching a critical threshold that could potentially lead to the demise of the U.S. exceptionalism trading strategy. The report warns that this threshold could trigger a significant shift in the market dynamics and potentially impact the performance of tech stocks. Cantor Fitzgerald has agreed to acquire a 5% stake in Tether for a maximum of $600 million. Australia is conducting a public consultation on its cryptocurrency asset tax report. Swiss regulator FINMA has issued a warning about the increasing use of stablecoins for money laundering.
Trump transition team compiling list of current and former U.S. military officers for possible courts-martial. Unheard comments as, Gladiator 2 is the perfect film for America's declining empire. Elon Musk's ex-court files notice in Alex Jones' InfoWars bankruptcy case. As Alex Jones is trying to halt the sale of InfoWars, Elon Musk's ex just got involved in the case. Reportedly, NASA insiders are pushing Elon Musk to end costly DEI spending.
Democrats have outspent Republicans on the airwaves since Harris entered race, but GOP is poised for late push, Bloomberg comments as political ads can't buy the presidency. Sylvester Stallone calls Trump the second George Washington in Mar-a-Lago warm-up speech. Reportedly, U.S. Muslims who back Trump upset by his pro-Israel nominees.
Reuters announces that the U.S. bank regulation under Trump is in doubt, while digital assets rise and consumer setbacks are expected. Bloomberg advises readers to pay close attention to their credit card balances under Trump 2.0. CNBC warns that Trump 2.0 could be detrimental to global inflation, according to analysts. Politico comments that the Biden economy is about to receive a new salesman in the form of Donald Trump. She warns against going back in history as Trump tariffs loom, and China is prepared to retaliate if Donald Trump increases tariffs, according to a former PBOC official.
Israel reportedly destroyed an active nuclear weapons research facility in Iran, according to officials. The Wall Street Journal reported that Iran had informed the United States that it would not attempt to harm former President Donald Trump. Additionally, Apple has removed the U.S.-funded Radio Free Europe app from Russia. Elon Musk's AI has turned against him, labeling him as one of the most significant spreaders of misinformation on X. Meanwhile, the owner of LA Times is reportedly seeking recruits similar to Scott Jennings to balance the publication's political leanings. Additionally, Vanity Fair has reported that MAGA influencers are actively pursuing top jobs in Trump's White House. Following Trump's election, some influencers have openly expressed their support for him.
Trump confirms his declaration of a national emergency to enable the military to deport migrants. Meanwhile, MSNBC's Morning Joe hosts Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski meet with Trump in an attempt to secure a new approach to coverage. Additionally, Queen of Polling Jan Seltzer resigns after a survey conducted in Iowa fell short by 16 points.
Politico comments that Republicans suddenly believe the economy is great and that the election wasn't rigged. Elon Musk's Twitter platform, X, is reportedly being tweaked to promote Trump, according to a study. The New York Times reports that Donald Trump is already beginning to fail. Trump signals a seismic shift, shocking the Washington establishment, as Department of Justice and FBI officials reach out to lawyers as potential Trump revenge prosecutions loom. Trump names Brendan Carr, senior GOP leader at FCC, to lead the agency. CISA Director Jen Easterly, to depart on Inauguration Day.
Well, Wall Street bankers see a lucrative opportunity in the $1 trillion AI hype. In other news, the Philippines and the United States have signed a military intelligence sharing deal. Biden has authorized Ukraine to use U.S.-supplied longer-range missiles for more extensive strikes inside Russia.
Trump appoints Chris Wright, CEO of a fracking firm, as the new energy secretary. Meanwhile, Xi Jinping announces that China is ready to collaborate with Trump to improve relations. The Washington Examiner comments as, Joe Biden is finally at peace.
Allegedly, intelligence sources claim that Russia has a plan to divide Ukraine into 3 separate entities. Ukraine launched UK Storm Shadow cruise missiles into Russia a day after using US ATACMS. The Biden administration is considering forgiving $4.7 billion in loans to Ukraine, and Biden has approved the use of anti-personnel mines in Ukraine, reversing his previous stance.
The United States has recognized Venezuela's opposition candidate as the newly elected president, despite the disputed election that took place months ago. Additionally, it has been confirmed that Donald Trump did not secure a majority of the votes cast for president. Furthermore, the White House has stated that the United States will not alter its nuclear posture in response to Russia lowering its threshold for nuclear war. Donald Trump appoints DROs to oversee Medicare and Medicaid, Linda McMahon for Education, and Lutnick for Commerce. Meanwhile, Donald Trump witnesses the SpaceX launch with Elon Musk, but the test flight deviates from its intended course. Additionally, Donald Trump urges J.D. Vance to bolster support for Matt Gaetz amidst mounting misconduct allegations.
U.S. and China Economic and Security Review Commission pushes Manhattan Project-style AI initiative. U.S. shuts Kyiv embassy over significant air attack threat. IDF finding far more Russian arms in Hezbollah's possession than expected, claimed in a report. Trump's pick for FCC chair has vowed crackdown on big tech censorship. New York Post comment says, Trump FCC pick Brendan Carr as the free speech fighter to take on big tech censorship regime. Fortune comment says, Trump's pick for FCC chair wants to eliminate the law shielding social media companies from legal consequences for posts on their platforms. Reportedly, Brendan Carr wrote the FCC chapter in Project 2025. Young Americans rely on social media influencers for news, Pew says. MSNBC comment says, Biden should order background checks of Trump's cabinet picks.
Gallup reports as gun ownership rates have spiked among Republican women. Biden awards Medal of Freedom to former Planned Parenthood President Cecile Richards. Anti-transgender laws cause up to 72% increase in suicide attempts among transgender and non-binary youth, study shows.
Delta CEO asserts that the Trump administration will reverse the government's perceived overreach during the Biden administration. Bezos responds to Musk's assertion that Trump would lose. Reuters reports that Amazon is likely to face an investigation under EU tech regulations next year, according to sources. Additionally, the Texas Attorney General has initiated an investigation into an advertising group that Elon Musk sued for allegedly boycotting X.
Suspected of being involved in a plot to assassinate President Lula. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is reportedly considering establishing a new role for cryptocurrency within the White House. Additionally, the number of conflict zones worldwide has increased by 2/3 since 2021, surpassing 6 million square kilometers.
Poll reveals that the majority of Democrats support Harris as their preferred candidate for the next presidential nomination. Additionally, there have been reports of Tesla owners purchasing an unusually large quantity of bumper stickers that criticize Elon Musk. Furthermore, Musk and Ramaswamy have proposed the termination of remote work for federal employees and the implementation of mass layoffs.
In the United States, House Speaker Johnson announced a policy barring transgender women from using Capitol bathrooms on Trans Day of Remembrance. Trans U.S. Representative-elect Sarah McBride responded to the ban by stating, "I'm not here to fight about bathrooms." Salon commented on the incident, noting that Mike Johnson's response to the election of a transgender lawmaker was to ban her from Capitol bathrooms.
Left-wing opposition candidate wins tight presidential election in Uruguay. Maduro agents have cut off electricity and intensified the siege of the Argentine embassy, as reported by an asylum seeker. 2 months ago, Venezuelan security forces surrounded the Argentine embassy after opposition members sought refuge inside. In the U.S., a report revealed that 1 in 10 Democrats believe the Trump election was illegitimate. In Israel, PM firmly condemns attempt by Jewish extremists to attack top IDF West Bank commander. Lindsey Graham tells allies, "We're gonna crush your economy if they arrest Netanyahu for war crimes." Reportedly, Benjamin Netanyahu weakened by the Bible leaks, an organized leak of falsified secret documents to justify the war in Gaza.
Partisanship significantly influences news consumption more than the truth, as revealed by a recent study. Uruguay's former president, José Pepe Mujica, remarked, I dedicated myself to changing the world, but I didn't accomplish anything. In other news, the Wall Street Journal reports that TikTok CEO is seeking advice from Elon Musk regarding the incoming Trump administration.
The Philippine vice president publicly threatens to have the president assassinated. Trump's hush money sentencing is postponed indefinitely, judge says. Francis Le Monde comments as, Musk plays increasingly encumbering role in British politics.
Reportedly, a proposed climate tax on cryptocurrency mining is gaining traction. 4 months ago, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) issued a report stating that carbon emissions from artificial intelligence, AI, and cryptocurrency are surging, and tax policy can play a crucial role in addressing this issue. Additionally, Polymarket has blocked French users amid regulatory scrutiny over a $80 million Trump election bet. Furthermore, Revolut is set to launch a range of financial services, including mortgages, smart ATMs, and business credit products.
National Review reports that DEI training material increases perception of non-existent prejudice, in agreement with Hitler rhetoric, as a study finds. Texas abortion laws are straining the OB/GYN workforce, new study shows. In the UK, BBC risks losing working-class viewers to GB News, Lord's report finds, as UK news coverage at risk of fracturing irreparably within 10 years, peers warn.
In the U.S., State Department faces questions over reported counseling after Trump win. It has been reported that, for Democratic firms raked in $600 million running ads for Kamala's failed campaign, and Kamala Harris burned through $1.5 billion in 15 weeks. Tom Homan says, I guarantee funds will be cut from states not cooperating on deportation.
Far-right populist surprises in Romanian presidential election appearing set to enter runoff. North Korea, Russia agree on sports exchanges in 2025, KCNA says. Trump reportedly plans to kick trans troops out of the military within days of inauguration.
Axios comments that Trump's mass deportation plan could clog immigration courts for years. Politico comments that Raimondo's urgent mission is to leave no cash for Trump. MTG says that sanctuary states and cities should explain to the DOJ why they deserve federal money.
In the chicken or the egg puzzle, an ancient microbe suggests that the egg came first. Mars once had a vast ocean, as revealed by a Chinese rover. A study demonstrates that pre-sleep training combined with sensory cues can induce lucid dreaming. Maintaining a healthy weight may be challenging due to the memory of obesity stored in fat cells.
Scientists discover laser light can cast a shadow. A research questions standard theory of how galaxies formed in early universe, as the oldest galaxies are large and bright, supporting alternative gravity theory, and James Webb Space Telescope finds stunning evidence for alternate theory of gravity. A study claims, the brain summons deep sleep for healing from life-threatening injury.
Maternal stress has been associated with an increased risk of early-onset epilepsy in children. Regular exercise has been shown to reduce the severity of hangovers. A recent study conducted by Baylor University found that an additional 46 minutes of sleep can enhance gratitude and resilience. Additionally, a new imaging technique has unveiled a detailed 3D map of the brain's blood flow.
280 million years old fossils predating dinosaurs in Alps as ecosystem that predates the dinosaurs uncovered in the Alps by melting snow, storms, floods, landslides associated with intimate partner violence against women 2 years later.
15,800 years old engravings reveal the earliest evidence of net fishing practices during the study from the UK Biobank found a link between nut consumption and a reduced risk of all-cause dementia in adults. DNA analysis confirms that Christopher Columbus's remains are indeed entombed in Seville.
Archaeologists have unearthed 4,000-year-old canals, previously unknown, that served as fishing routes for the ancestors of the ancient Maya. Additionally, a Neanderthal adhesive manufacturing site has been discovered within a cave in Gibraltar. Furthermore, astronomers have successfully captured the first close-up image of a star located beyond the Milky Way, providing a glimpse of a supergiant star enveloped in a gas cocoon.
Genetic heritage of Jaman hunter-gatherers is associated with higher body mass index in contemporary Japanese individuals. A prospective analysis of personal light exposure in over 88,000 individuals reveals a correlation between brighter nights and increased mortality risk. Surprisingly, intense cold exposure may actually improve sleep quality, as demonstrated by a recent study.
Additionally, Elon Musk's Neuralink has received approval to commence a trial involving brain chips in Canada. Furthermore, a study claims that 53% of U.S. adults are eligible for Ozempic and Wegovy.
Birds, with their brains dating back to the age of dinosaurs, hold the key to unlocking the roots of avian intelligence. A remarkable Cretaceous bird discovered in Brazil provides valuable insights into the evolution of the avian skull and brain. In a groundbreaking discovery, scientists have unveiled the shape of a single photon for the first time using a novel computer model. This revelation sheds light on the intricate structure of light particles and their interactions with matter. Furthermore, evidence suggests that air, often overlooked as a source of nutrients, can actually provide essential vitamins when in.
Beyoncé is set to make a splash at Netflix's upcoming NFL debut, aiming to capitalize on the popularity of mega events. Meanwhile, the highly anticipated spin-off of Dune, aptly called New Game of Thrones, has garnered a massive following after its captivating first episode. Additionally, WWE's Monday Night Raw will make its Netflix debut on January 6, exclusively in Los Angeles. ESPN testing generative AI avatar facts to break down complex analytics for fans. Christmas arrives early at Starbucks in Japan with new Mary Cream Frappuccino. Half-Life 2 is for free on Steam on its 20th anniversary.
Sega has delisted over 60 classic games from virtual stores, including Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi. Visitors to London's National Portrait Gallery will be serenaded by a 6-hour version of Champagne Supernova. UFC will unveil new gloves designed to reduce eye pokes.
Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz are thrust into spy work in the trailer for Netflix's Back in Action. Meanwhile, Jake Paul emerges victorious in a highly anticipated fight against Mike Tyson, and the Netflix Rumble proves to be an intense and grueling 8-round battle. Additionally, fans of the iconic group Boyz II Men can anticipate the release of both a movie biopic and a documentary that delves into their remarkable journey and music legacy. Under Paris 2, Netflix developing sequel to French shark movie with Bérénice Bejo returning.
Cyber attacks have cost British businesses a staggering $55 billion over the past 5 years, according to a recent report. Notably, a ransomware attack on the supply chain management software provider Blue Yonder has forced Starbucks to manually pay its baristas, highlighting the impact of such attacks on businesses. Furthermore, a study suggests that deadline violations can negatively affect perceived work quality and worker evaluations.
Comcast plans to spin off its cable networks as subscribers abandon the bundled package. Meanwhile, half of young Norwegians consider online piracy a legitimate means of saving money. Additionally, Disney reports that Deadpool and Wolverine garnered an impressive 19.4 million views within its first 6 days on streaming platforms.
Magritte's painting sells for a record-breaking $121 million. Italy recaptures Etruscan artifacts worth $8.5 million. Hello Kitty celebrates its 50th anniversary with a Kate Spade New York collaboration. Los Angeles declares itself an immigration sanctuary and enacts a sanctuary city ordinance to prepare for potential mass deportations under Trump. Texas offers Star County Ranch to Trump for mass deportation plans. Spain plans to legalize approximately 300,000 illegal immigrants annually for the next 3 years. In the U.S., a militia group reportedly threatens the military and claims that the government orchestrated the North Carolina hurricane. Netflix and Meta were sued over quid pro quo to neutralize Facebook Watch's video service. Tucker Carlson's new show became the most popular on Apple Podcasts in 2024. Instagram is allowing users to reset their content recommendations.
Sabrina Carpenter to film provocative music video stripped of duties. Video shows white orb UFO off Kuwait coast. U.S. congressional hearing told.
Kendrick Lamar surprises fans with the release of a new album titled GNX. George Harrison's guitar, once owned by the Beatles, breaks records by selling for a staggering $1.27 million at an auction. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars collaborate on a duet titled Die With a Smile, achieving the remarkable feat of becoming the fastest song to reach 1 billion streams on Spotify.
Reuters reports that Huawei intends to mass-produce its latest AI chip in early 2025, despite the U.S.'s restrictions. It has been suggested that AI and other emerging technologies might lead to a resurgence in analog computing. Additionally, OpenAI is contemplating a move to challenge Google by launching a browser. South Korea asserts that K-pop stars are not considered workers and do not have access to labor rights. Airbnb unveils a gladiatorial experience after dark within the Coliseum. Ariana Grande officially takes the lead in predicting Oscar winners for Wicked.
Has garnered significant attention by outperforming OpenAI's O1 performance. In a separate development, the Swiss Church has unveiled an AI version of Jesus, designed to assist individuals seeking spiritual guidance and solace during confessionals. Additionally, spine-chilling screams associated with Aztec sacrifice rituals, linked to the infamous death whistle, have been unearthed, evoking a sense of intrigue and unease.
Netflix declared the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight as the most streamed sporting event ever. Despite gains in its competitors, Twitch still holds a significant 82% of streaming hours. Additionally, Visa has recognized creators as small businesses.
India's Digyuksh, the youngest player ever to qualify for the FIDE World Chess Championship. More than half of English speakers now watch foreign language content. Oldest known alphabet unearthed in ancient Syrian city.
Blue Man Group, after more than 3 decades, will be ending its residency in New York City. Elton John has been battling an infection in the right eye for 4 months and is uncertain whether to resume recording in the studio. Drake has accused Universal Music and Spotify of artificially inflating Kendrick Lamar's numbers for the diss track, Not Like Us.
Music revenues surpass cinema's pre-pandemic peak. Due to the streaming boom, Sony is developing a handheld console capable of running PS5 games. In the UK, private equity firms and European broadcasters emerge as potential suitors for ITV.
Tourism claims and files a motion to dismiss the Flowers copyright lawsuit. In another news update, U.S. Customs has seized over 3,000 counterfeit Gibson guitars. Lastly, Tim Robbins expresses concern about the future of cinema if online streamers continue to dominate the industry.
Arcane creators state that it will be a long time before the next League of Legends adaptation is released on Netflix, as they clarify that they are not currently in production on such projects. Arcane is merely the beginning of Riot Games and Fortiche's extensive plans for League of Legends content. In other news, AMC Theaters has issued a stern warning to fans of the musical Wicked as the movie premieres, emphasizing that there will be no singing or wailing during the performance. Furthermore, Major League Baseball (MLB) is considering a move to nationalize local media rights deals, which could potentially end blackouts and provide fans with more access to their favorite teams. This decision comes after Diamond Sports Group's bankruptcy restructuring plan received court approval.
Tesla has the highest fatal accident rate of all auto brands, study finds. 1 year ago also, Tesla has the highest accident rate of any auto brand. Hertz loses $2 billion, largely because of electric cars. Reportedly, Hertz's Tesla fire sale continues as depreciation costs mount. Reuters reports that China battery giant CATL would build U.S. plant if Trump allows it. Tesla's 4,680 battery cell will never be successful, says CATL chairman.
GitHub projects targeted with malicious commits to frame researcher. Financially motivated Chinese threat actor Silk Spectre targeting Black Friday shoppers. In the U.S., FTC announces that reports of unwanted telemarketing calls down more than 50% since 2021.
Discrimination due to the curse of 35. In Hong Kong, Chinese cardinal calls for sinicization of church in China. In the U.S., T-Mobile hacked in massive Chinese breach of telecom networks.
Blue Sky asserts that it won't train AI on user-generated content. As Blue Sky gains traction, Threads commences testing custom feeds. Valuations of Elon Musk's SpaceX and xAI are poised to experience significant growth in upcoming deals.
Smart glasses in the works, expected release set for Q2 2025. Razer says its new AI tool analyzes in minutes how products impact the planet, as Razer, a big vendor of gaming gear, makes an unexpected new pitch with selling AI tech to businesses.
The Library of Congress reported that hackers gained access to its emails containing information from lawmakers' offices. Ransom Hub disclosed that a cyber attack in Mexico resulted in the exfiltration of 313 gigabytes of data. Additionally, the American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, known as AnnieMac, is currently under investigation for a data breach that affected over 171,000 customers.
Apple is offering a $100 million incentive to Indonesia to lift its ban on the iPhone 16. Foxconn has instructed Indian recruiters to remove the marital status requirement from job advertisements for iPhones. Additionally, iCloud backups will be discontinued for iPhones running iOS 8 and older.
$30 million Wazirk's crypto exchange hack. Google debuts online fraud and scams advisory, and Google warns of rising cloaking scams, AI-driven fraud, and crypto schemes. NSO Group exploited WhatsApp to install Pegasus spyware even after Meta's lawsuit, as 1,400 Pegasus spyware infections detailed in WhatsApp's lawsuit filings. Google is developing a new feature called Shielded Email that allows users to create aliases, similar to Apple's Hide My Email. Additionally, there are rumors that Apple might launch a new version of the AirTag in 2025, equipped with enhanced security features. Furthermore, China has unveiled a design for a reusable cargo shuttle that will be used to transport supplies to the Xiangong space station. Nintendo cross-referenced Reddit posts and hardware repair records to identify a Switch pirate. Coca-Cola unveiled an AI-driven Holidays Are Coming campaign. Disney expanded its CEO search to include candidates from outside the company, such as AI's Andrew Wilson.
Microsoft's new AI agents support 1,800 models. Reportedly, nearly 70% of the Fortune 500 now rely on Microsoft 365 Copilot. Microsoft and Atom Computing are also making progress in quantum computing, taking orders for a fault-tolerant quantum computer with 1,000 physical qubits and 50 logical qubits, expected for delivery in 2025. Additionally, Microsoft has launched the Zero-Day Quest competition to enhance cloud and AI security. Pokémon Go players have unwittingly trained an AI to navigate the world, as Niantic utilizes Pokémon Go player data to construct an AI navigation system. In other news, the trailer for a Minecraft movie teases an adventure featuring Jack Black as Steve and Jason Momoa as Garrett, accompanied by a creeper Y zombie horde. Microsoft and UK's Merlin Entertainment have concluded a $110 million deal to develop Minecraft-inspired park rides,
Monitoring the transportation sector's efforts to combat ransomware. Additionally, China-backed hackers have been reported to be exploiting SIGTRAN and GSM protocols to infiltrate telecom networks. Furthermore, it has been reported that a hacker gained access to sealed testimony obtained during a civil lawsuit involving Matt Gaetz, alleging that the congressman engaged in sexual activity with a woman when she was 17 years old.
Teaching LLMs to recognize when they need assistance to deliver more precise responses. As per a New York Times comment, robots struggle to match warehouse workers on really hard jobs. A study reveals that ChatGPT is not particularly helpful for doctors in diagnosing diseases.
The top of the top 500 list, while the fastest Intel machine has fallen to third place. In a groundbreaking development, New Zealand has joined the race for nuclear fusion with a unique approach. The country achieved a historic milestone by successfully creating a plasma with a levitated dipole nuclear reactor. Furthermore, the world's largest green hydrogen plant is on track for its launch in Saudi Arabia in 2026. The CEO of the project has expressed confidence in its ability to contribute significantly to the country's energy transition.
Meta has reportedly removed 2 million accounts associated with pig butchering scams. Meanwhile, Wired reports that officers of China's surveillance state is engaging in a side hustle by selling citizen data. Additionally, Russia line tag 110 is targeting Asia and Europe with Hatvibe and Cheresby. Sweden's Northvolt files for bankruptcy. posing a significant setback to Europe's aspirations in the electric vehicle (EV) industry. In a separate development, China has surpassed Germany, Japan, and is now ranked third globally in robot density, as per a recent report. Additionally, the European Union is contemplating the implementation of new criteria for China during the ongoing negotiations regarding EV tariffs.
Honda aims to double the driving range of EVs with solid-state batteries, as stated by its R&D chief. In contrast, Ford plans to reduce its European workforce by 4,000 due to economic challenges and declining EV sales. Notably, a robot achieved a world first by completing an entire marathon without the need for battery recharging.
Funding from the CHIPS Act for the essential chip manufacturing sector. Meanwhile, the European Central Bank has cautioned about the potential formation of a bubble in AI stocks as cash reserves dwindle. Additionally, Reuters highlights that while Nvidia's AI chip demand continues to surge, concerns about slowing sales growth have investors on edge.
Microsoft unveils its integration of Windows 11 with Meta Quest headsets, enabling seamless streaming of your PC within virtual reality. Additionally, a new Windows 11 recovery tool is introduced, empowering admins to remotely troubleshoot and fix unbootable devices. Furthermore, Microsoft introduces the Windows 365 Link, a compact mini PC that streams Windows from the cloud. This device embodies Microsoft's vision of a PC designed solely for connecting users to their cloud-based computers.
A Russian advanced persistent threat, apt, weaponized nearby Wi-Fi networks for covert access in the nearest neighbor attack. Meanwhile, a patrons' rights hackers targeted Andrew Tate's website, The Real World. Microsoft also urged Donald Trump to intensify efforts against Russian and Chinese hacking activities. Chinese hackers preparing for conflict. U.S. cyber official says, as Chinese hackers preparing for conflict, U.S. cyber official says. Foursquare open source places with 100M plus global places of interest, as a new foundational dataset for the geospatial community. Google's AI-powered OSS Fuzz tool finds 26 vulnerabilities in open source projects.
Central Bank of Brazil to pilot CBDC trade finance solution with Chainlink. Microsoft, 7com and Banco Inter. Thrive Capital secures record $5 billion in biggest ever venture fundraising. The fintech for 45 of 50 top banks. Fintech giant Finastra investigates data breach after SFTP hack.
Putin says Ukraine war is going global, and UK Army chief announces we're ready to fight Putin in Eastern Europe. Ukraine's former commander-in-chief says Russia's allies' involvement signals global conflict. Russia supplied air defense missiles to North Korea in return for its troops, South Korea says. Hungary to deploy air defense near border with Ukraine as Kiev has been authorized to strike deep into Russia. U.S. lawmakers seek to halt weapons sales to UAE citing Sudan. U.S. sends trainer aircraft to Vietnam in biggest arms deal since war. China blames U.S. support for Taiwan for failure of Defense Chiefs Dong Jun and Lloyd Austin to meet. Google unveils GLASSBRIDGE, a pro-China influence network of fake news websites. Security Ministry warns that foreign spies may be employing deepfakes to target China and its citizens. Ministers warn NATO conference that Russia is prepared to launch a massive cyber attack on Britain.
China has set a deadline for big tech companies to address algorithm-related issues and close echo chambers on their platforms. Additionally, China is cracking down on unfair algorithm-based internet practices. On the other hand, India has restricted WhatsApp from sharing data with other Meta entities and imposed a $25.4 million fine. Furthermore, Microsoft has confirmed that the Windows 11 24H2 update is causing crashes in some Ubisoft games. Y Combinator frequently invests in startups that closely resemble other YC companies, as evidenced by data. This phenomenon extends beyond AI code editors. A new study reveals that the Jekyll and Hyde leaders of these startups can have long-lasting and detrimental effects. Additionally, NYU Langone made history by performing the world's first fully robotic double lung transplant. Red Hat is officially becoming a WSL distribution, making it easier for WSL users to install and discover it through Actions. Huawei aims to have 100,000 apps on Harmony OS within a year. Microsoft has blocked the Windows 11 update on PCs with Ubisoft games, due to significant issues encountered with some Ubisoft games on Windows 11.
Australia abandons plan to impose fines on social media giants that facilitate the spread of misinformation. Meanwhile, Donald Trump Jr. and Elon Musk joke about buying MSNBC. In the UK, the technology secretary suggests that a social media ban for teenagers is being considered if companies fail to take action. Anthropic introduces the Model Context Protocol, a universal and open standard that enables seamless connectivity between AI systems and data sources, eliminating the need for fragmented integrations and replacing them with a single protocol. IMAX partners with Cambly AI to bring AI-powered translations and dubbing to theaters worldwide, revolutionizing the movie-going experience. In a remarkable white glove sale, the collection of Larry Warsh featuring 31 Keith Haring subway drawings fetched an impressive $9.2 million. Blue Sky is accused of violating EU regulations regarding the disclosure of information, according to the European Union. Corning has submitted a bid to settle the EU's antitrust case related to Gorilla Glass. Elon Musk suggests that Twitter restricts posts containing links.
Apple's thin iPhone lacking physical SIMs could potentially hinder sales in China. Threads, inspired by X, introduces AI-generated summaries of trending topics. Elon Musk unveils Neuralink study on a mind-controlled robotic arm. AI enhanced the 1970 human washing machine to create a sensation at the Osaka Expo. Google is preparing Gemini to take action within applications. Almost 10% of South Korea's workforce is now composed of robots.
European mobile payment system Wero is launching in Belgian banks. The Canadian government is auctioning off a rare Pokémon card from its surplus list. Rumors suggest that the A20 Pro chipset for the iPhone 18 series, expected to be released in 2026, could be manufactured by Intel.
AI companies are actively pursuing the acquisition of books published by MIT Press. According to Menlo Ventures, business spending on AI has experienced a remarkable surge of 500% this year, reaching a substantial figure of $13.80 billion. In response to this trend, the indie distribution platform itch.io has implemented a new requirement for asset creators to clearly disclose the utilization of generative AI in their work. ANI, the Indian news agency, has filed a lawsuit against OpenAI for copyright infringement. HarperCollins has struck a deal to license non-fiction books for AI use, offering authors a share of the revenue. Xi Jinping emphasized that AI should not be a privilege reserved for wealthy countries and individuals.
Amazon engaged in discussions with companies like Instacart, Uber, and Ticketmaster to seek assistance in developing its new AI-driven Alexa. Mistral AI made significant strides in the field of AI by challenging ChatGPT with substantial updates to LeChat and introducing novel AI models. As a result, Mistral AI unveiled a remarkable 124B multimodal AI model named Pixtral Large, which demonstrated superior performance compared to GPT-4o and Gemini 1.5 Pro. Perplexity introduced an AI-powered shopping assistant that can conduct research and make purchases on behalf of users.
The U.S. Department of Commerce has officially approved a funding allocation of $6.6 billion for the construction of TSMC's Fab 21 facility in Arizona. Meanwhile, NVIDIA's latest server design has encountered a significant obstacle, with AI chips overheating uncontrollably. Additionally, a groundbreaking AI paper introduces diffusion evolution, a novel approach to evolutionary computation that merges diffusion models and evolutionary algorithms. Notably, diffusion models are essentially evolutionary algorithms.
Expose a long history of mistrust. The Guardian comments that AI isn't about unleashing our imaginations, it's about outsourcing them for profit. A study suggests that AI models work faster when they communicate in their own language.
Ozempic's influence on the fashion industry, as expressed by Vogue's editor, raises concerns about the return of skinny models. Meanwhile, the The World Health Organization reports that the global diabetes epidemic has reached alarming levels, with 800 million cases. Additionally, a new anti-smoking pill has been hailed as a game changer and will be made available on the National Health Service in the UK.
NVIDIA unveils Fugato, an AI tool that transforms sound creation for music, ads, and gaming. AI boom makes the 139-years-old cable company Japan's hottest stock. 88% of workers would use AI to overcome task paralysis, Google study says. Ubidium has announced the development of a universal processor that integrates CPU, GPU, DSP, and FPGA functionalities. This RISC-V-powered chip is expected to be released in 2 years. Jensen, however, stated that solving AI hallucination problems is still several years away and requires a significant increase in computation. Additionally, the Biden administration might impose trade restrictions on up to 200 more Chinese chip companies.
Well-being. Study suggests. The Intercept's lawsuit against OpenAI advances on claim it removed reporters' bylines. OpenAI is funding a project that researches morality in AI systems.
Brave Search introduces AI chat for follow-up questions after initial query. SafeRent has settled a $2.3 million discrimination lawsuit, alleging AI screening bias against low-income renters. Apple is reportedly working on an LLM Siri for its 2026 launch.
Banning free plastic bags for groceries paradoxically led to customers purchasing more plastic bags, as revealed by a recent study. In a stark contrast, alcohol-related deaths in the United States experienced a significant increase, more than doubling from 1999 to 2020. Additionally, there are notable differences in financial success expectations among different age groups. Boomers believe that achieving financial success requires an annual income of $100,000, while Gen Z advocates for a more modest target of $600,000.
Pills might be contributing to the decrease in U.S. overdose deaths, according to the DEA. Bird flu in Canada has potentially mutated to become more transmissible to humans. Semaglutide, the weight loss drug discovered to shrink heart muscle in mice, has also been found to affect human cells.
In the U.S., Supreme Court rejects RFK Jr. Group's attempt to protect anti-COVID vaccine doctors from investigations. RFK Jr. said his organization funded viral COVID conspiracy film Plandemic. Studies claim, stress warps fear memories in multiple ways. AP comments as, fighting conspiracy theories with comedy? That's what The Onion hopes after its purchase of InfoWars.
Intuit and H&R Block shares experienced a decline following a report indicating that the Trump government's efficiency team is contemplating developing a tax filing application. Additionally, a report surfaced suggesting that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. informed a significant number of individuals that the government might have planned the COVID-19 pandemic. Furthermore, a recent report by the Institute for Justice revealed that while corporate America extols funding for employee abortion travel, it remains largely silent on the matter of child care benefits.
In the U.S., Gallup announces that majorities still support stricter gun laws and an assault weapons ban. On the other hand, Bhutan, after prioritizing happiness, is now facing an existential crisis. Apparently, Bhutanese youth are looking to Australia for a better life, and migration poses an existential threat, according to the Prime Minister. Additionally, Reuters reports that a survey finds that people tend to become happier with age. AI-powered Minecraft runs without a game engine, rendering the game in real time at a continuous 20 frames per second. Descartes' AI simulates a playable version of Minecraft that is both real-time and accessible. Additionally, former military officials have revealed that the United States has secretly recovered alien technology. Furthermore, the U.S. Navy's Virginia-class submarine was reportedly apprehended by a Norwegian fisherman. In the U.S., the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, passenger searches were suspended after a watchdog discovered evidence of civil rights violations and racial profiling. In Brazil, a survey by Datafolha revealed that 6 out of 10 brown people do not identify as Black. A report by the French National Institute for Health and Medical Research, INSERM, found that half of female doctors have experienced sexist or sexual violence from a colleague. In the UK, a poll claims that two-thirds support assisted dying bill. Justice Secretary expressed concerns about the proposals. Judges also warned of serious logistical problems with the assisted dying bill. In the U.S., Senator Roger Marshall introduced the Defining Male and Female Act of 2024, a bill to codify legal definitions of male, female, and sex to ensure they are based on biology rather than ideology. Additionally, Denmark announced its plan to make its medical cannabis pilot program permanent.
Psychosis symptoms found to precede adolescent cannabis use. An average of 140 women and girls were killed by a partner or relative per day in 2023, the UN says.
A recent study has revealed that intense exercise may suppress appetite in healthy individuals. Additionally, prolonged sitting, exceeding 10 hours daily, has been associated with an increased risk of heart failure and mortality. Furthermore, a study conducted by the Cleveland Clinic has found a link between the consumption of sugar substitute xylitol and an elevated risk of heart attack and stroke.
In the U.S., a Georgia city will blow up an old hotel to greet 2025. Indian man wakes up on funeral pyre moments before it being lit. Cheating spouse is no longer a crime in New York, with the repeal of a little-known 1907 law.
In the Netherlands, police discovered a garden gnome weighing 2 kilograms, entirely made of MDMA. On the other hand, a bug smuggler was apprehended with over 300 tarantulas strapped to their body, including dozens that were as large as a human hand. Additionally, scientists are training artificial intelligence to detect pain in goats.
Has been proven to be the most effective way for shoppers to make their next purchase. Robbers steal diamond-encrusted snuff boxes during a raid on a Paris museum. Carmaker Jaguar unveils its design vision concept, bidding farewell to the rear window and embracing air conditioning vents.
After a fatal on-set shooting, production of the movie Rust resumed. On Wednesday, it premiered at a low-key film festival, 3 years after the shooting incident. A shoplifter injured by a police dog received a nearly $1 million settlement from the Northern California